Hi, welcome to You Can Cook Anything with Bob and JP. I'm Bob.
And I'm JP. Today we're making burgers, and we're going to make 2 burgers each. The first burger that we make is going to be kind of the burger that we consider our go-to burger, the ones that we make for our families on a regular basis. The second burger that we make will be experimental, something we haven't tried before that we maybe wanted to try that's a little bit different and weird. So stick around and check out these burgers because you might find something that you want to try at home.
Yeah, stick around.
So my go-to burger is what some people call a smash burger. It's a burger, it's about a 1/4 pound of beef. You smash it flat, you get it nice and crusty on one side, flip it over, get it crusty on the other side. And it's got a decent amount of salt, so it's got a decent amount of flavor from the crust and the salt. So the first thing I'm going to do is you don't want to mess with the beef too much. You want to grab about a 1/4 pound of beef. And I just do this with my bare hands for feel. Because you're going to wash them anyway. You can keep them clean. So just judge about the size of a burger that you want. You don't want to knead it or anything, you just want to get it kind of smashed flat. So you want it to be able to cook through fairly quickly. Clean up the sides a little bit, that's fine. And I'm going to wash my hands while this is cooking, and then I'm going to salt it once it's in the pan. Pan is heated to about 450 degrees, and then in it goes, right in the middle.
A few moments later.
So I'm seasoning liberally with salt, and you're actually probably going to want more salt on there than you expect. Alright? I'm actually going to smash this further. Believe it or not, you want this even thinner. You don't want to disturb it though until a crust is formed on the bottom. So you're going to kind of have to judge that. Sometimes you can kind of peek under the corner, but it should take at least a couple of minutes. I was considering oiling the pan, but as you can see, this is 80, actually what is the percentage of this? This is, 80% beef, which is what I use all the time for burgers. You can see it generates quite a bit of fat in the pan, so you really don't have to add anything. Alright, I'm going to check under the corner for a crust. It actually has a bit of a crust already, so I'm going to make sure I get all that good crust when I flip it. And there it is. You see that? That's flavor right there. Go ahead and season this side. Using kosher salt there. You're going to basically do the same thing the other side. That crust came nice. Slice too on this.
I'll open the door.
No, buddy. Alright, so I'm going to dress the bun and a nice slice of tomato. Obviously, whatever you like is going to go on there. And then make sure you scrape that good stuff off the bottom. You want as much of it to come as you can get. Place it on there. Flip the bun on top of the burger and immediately wrap it up. Now that burger is, if you look in the market, you might find a soft style burger bun. And that's what you want. You want the softest one you can get. And then if you're making several of them, you just wrap them up. Made to order for people. And then you serve them like that. And what happens here is the heat of the burger is now steaming that bun a little bit. Everything's getting to be the same temperature so that when it's opened up it's nice and juicy and perfect.
2 very boring minutes later.
Alright, let's take a look at what this burger is like on the inside. Alright, so I'm going to unwrap it. There it is. You normally just eat it right out of this, but we're going to cut it in half so we can take a look inside. So let's get rid of that for now. It served its purpose. I'm going to just cut it right in half here. I'll give you the cross section view. All right, it's cooked through. It's crispy on the outside. It's got flavor. Now we're going to give it a taste. Should we get it in quarters so we have 4? Whoops. It's kind of falling apart. All right, we've got 4 tastes.
All right, taste testers coming. Taste with JP. Go ahead, JP.
All right.
Everybody get in there. I'll come around in a second for this part I'm not missing.
All right, ready? Yeah.
That's a good burger.
And that's the burger I make, well, probably a little more often than I should. Yeah. Oh, we had someone sneaking.
Got juices dripping off of it.
That's just a plain burger. That's just simple smash burger.
My God.
Oh.
Okay. Excellent job.
Unassuming, delicious, easy to make. Okay, now for my experimental burger. This burger is a little bit burger, a little bit meatloaf. It's got ingredients mixed into it. It's been cooking under vacuum, sous vide style, for the last hour and a half or so. I'm going to sear it up, but first I think you're going to want to see how I prepared this burger. So the point of my experimental burger is kind of like the flip side of the smashed burger that I like to make. When I smash a burger, it maximizes flavor by maximizing the surface area of the beef's contact with the griddle, and that gives you that great Maillard reaction, and that gives you great flavor. But some people like a thicker burger, they like a juicier burger, but I think that when you just have a thick burger that's just beef, that what you sacrifice is flavor, that you just get a lot of unflavored beef that that may be juicy, but it may not be ideal flavor-wise. How do you solve that problem? I solve it by making it basically a meatloaf, and that's why I've based my experimental burger on a meatloaf type slider burger, which starts with a ½ pound of beef. And to that ½ pound of beef, I'm going to add this onion relish that I made earlier. And I made that by chopping up some onions and cooking them down, browning them with some beef stock, some marjoram, and some thyme until basically I had a sweet onion relish. And that's pretty easy to do. You basically just cut a bunch of onions up and cook it down until it tastes awesome. I'm adding this in order to make the burger obviously more flavorful, but also very juicy, because the onions will retain some of the moisture in the burger. To give it some body, I'm adding about half of a slice of bread's worth of breadcrumbs. For more flavor, adding a little bit of salt and smoked paprika. And a meatloafy anything, including a burger, wouldn't be the same without some Worcestershire sauce, which adds a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of more umami, and a little vinegary flavor. Soy sauce is an obvious inclusion here, as well as another umami favorite in my kitchen, fish sauce. And because we've got additives in there, we need something to help bind this together, and to accomplish that, I'm going to add some egg. Instead of trying to get half of an egg out of an egg, I'm using an egg beaters type thing, basically egg substitute that's made of egg whites. And I put about half of an egg's worth in there. And of course, mixing it thoroughly with a gloved hand. You could also just use an ungloved hand, but I don't like having to wash my hands repeatedly while I'm doing this kind of thing. course, this mixture now needs some fresh ground pepper. And after mixing in the pepper, I decided to do a little bit of origami here. So my intention to get this thoroughly cooked all the way through is, instead of just cooking it on the grill, is I'm going to use the sous vide. Of course, you probably could cook this burger completely on the grill, but I decided that since I was going to have to move this burger to another town in order to join Bob for our episode, I decided to cook it sous vide beforehand so that it would only need to be seared. And what I realized was putting it under a vacuum might crush the thing way too flat. Remember, we want a thick, juicy burger here. So I decided to create a form to give the burger some structure while it was in the vacuum sealed bag cooking in the water. So this is a ring made of parchment paper that will provide some vertical structure for the burger. Once I solved that minor engineering problem, I used the wax paper that was underneath my burger to kind of slide it into a Ziploc freezer bag that is going to ultimately protect the burger from the cooking water. I decided to use the displacement method in order to get the air out of the bag. That's when you take a bag that's got some food item in it and you place as much of the bag as you can in the water and allow the pressure of the water to push the air out of the bag. You just keep the corner of the bag out of the water and kind of zip it up just as the last of the air exits the bag. Once that was done, it was time to put it in the bath. Here I've got the bath set at 131 degrees. I actually ended up increasing that to 134 to get a more thorough cooking, but the water is warm. I took the sealed up burger, placed it in the warm water. But since it was floating, I decided to weigh it down a little bit so that it would get a complete surrounding presence of warm water. And closed it in my little Franken cooler cooker here, and then closed it up, replaced the sous vide circulator, and let it circulate for over an hour. From here, it went into a mini cooler, and that's how I transported it to the final shoot.
1 hour later.
Alright, so we're going to sear that burger in a moment to finish it off. But first we're going to prepare the dressing for this burger. I'm using a little bit of a hearty bun there. You can use whatever kind of bun you want. But the secret to the finishing this burger is going to be butter. This is based on the idea of a Wisconsin butter burger. And this might look strange, and it might be strange. We said we were going to do something experimental today. But we're going to spread some butter on this burger. Oh, missed the butter noise. Alright, so we're going to put some softened butter on this top burger bun. And that seems like a lot of butter because it is. But it's going to be just right for this burger. Alright. I'd say that's probably about enough butter. Alright. So that's going to go on top of our burger when it's done cooking. And we're about to finish that cooking right about now. So here's the container the burger's been cooking in at about 135 degrees at this point. There it is, but it just needs to be seared now. So let's get this out of the way. Let's give this a try. So this is something I haven't done before. We're going to have to maneuver this burger out of here and into the pan, and it's going to immediately start to sear. So let's get rid of its little stability ring, and it's already firm. It just needs to be seared on both sides. There it goes.
A few moments later.
Okay, I'm going to flip it again and check the other side just to make sure that we're getting decent browning there. We're going to put a slice of cheese on there. In the Wisconsin butter burger, they use American cheese. This is just a variation because it's a Kraft single, but it's pepper jack cheese because I thought the flavor would be a little bit better. Alright, now I'm going to put this thing right on the butter. Actually, we'll flip it onto the bottom bun. The cheese on the bottom. And then we'll flip this onto the top. So the top is buttered. a taste test. Let's dig.
All right, ready?
Let's dig in.
Oh my god. Well, that is umami.
Oh.
Wow.
I think I got some of it.
It's like
Oh.
if my favorite beef stock was a burger.
Mmm. And you were right to go with the pepper jack? Dude, bravo. That's an experiment worth repeating.
I'm gonna make this again sometime.
Alright, so when I make my regular burger for the family, I put a bunch of stuff in it. So the first thing we do is we start with 80-20 beef. I'm going to make a tiny batch. We just had a pause and made burgers for everybody, so this is for you. So here we go. So we're going to get some 80-20 beef. We're going to add some onion soup mix, about a tablespoon and a half. Then this is mushroom seasoning. It's available at Asian markets. I've mentioned it in past videos, and I'll include a link to finding this if you can't. So that's about a half a teaspoon into about half a pound of beef. Then we're going to want a bunch of grinds, be about a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. And then you want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dashes of Worcestershire sauce, and then a half an egg. Alright, so the next thing we do is patty, which this is actually a great purchase. I don't think this costs more than maybe $10 or $15. It's a hamburger press. This one actually can be screwed right into the counter, which I wouldn't do. It also makes sliders with a little insert in here, but we're not making sliders. So you take 4 ounces of beef, you put it in, you make sure it's kind of centered, and then you just gently press down. And the bottom comes out with it. Look, you get a perfect little patty. So we're going to butter this. Even though there's a lot of fat in the burger, this brings a whole bunch of flavor. So I butter the pan. You just twist and slide and that comes right off. Now you don't put it on until the butter is just starting to brown. There we go. In preparation, you also have to mayonnaise your bun for this one. The mayonnaise will combine with the juices and basically create a sauce. And I'll do one with just American cheese. It's got to be 2 slices. Alright, now let's put them down. So we'll do and into the foil they go for a quick wrap. All right, well, let's check them out. We'll cut them and see. Okay, stop. I don't like the way that burger came out. That's not what my burgers look like. So I'm going to do it again. But I wanted you to see what a nice, melty, good-looking burger looks like. Everything else is the same. I'm just going to cook it differently.
A few moments later.
I normally don't do this with this much fat, but when you have it, use it. Normally I would have just put a teaspoon of water, been using a much smaller frying pan like this one, and had the burgers in there, and then just put a teaspoon of water and put a lid on them and let the steam do the cheese melting. Right. Who wants to taste the burger?
Oh, the onion, yep. Definitely forward for the onion flavor. Like creamy with the mayonnaise, like you said, it's making a sauce.
It's got that almost White Castle flavor without the gross. Right?
Good analogy.
Yep.
the cheese. I like the 2 cheeses because it's like 2 notes, and then you add in, you know, that oniony, that beefy umami that you get with the, like, you can't even tell it's mushrooms. You just get flavor, right?
Yeah, it doesn't taste like mushrooms.
No.
It tastes flavorful.
This benefits massively from a tomato. So I usually do at least a tomato because the tomato mixes with the mayo with the onion flavor, and you just get really dope burger. So we're going to try something for the experimental burger that's pretty experimental. But this comes from one of my oldest friends. My buddy John was, I was telling him about this episode, and he shared with me a story from when he had his restaurant where they had some leftover hot dogs, and he blended them up and added them to his hamburger mix, and everyone fell in love with these hamburgers. So it's still a bit of an experiment, so we're going to see if we can replicate this. My first concern is going to be, will it blend? I mean, I don't even know if I can get the hot dogs to blend without liquid, so... Okay, I'll say that's blended enough.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Okay, here we go. Burgers, but
A bit more
you
experimental.
can see a little bit of the hot
Yeah,
dog
yeah.
in there. Definitely should take the time to grind those better next time. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, man. Oh, that is really good.
Reminds me of like a Fenway burger.
Can I have the ketchup and the mustard, please?
I'm not sure how I feel.
Filming?
That's good.
I'm
It's
pretty
funny.
sure that if you didn't tell me, I would just be like, no, it's a burger.
I'm definitely getting like alternating burger.
And a hot dog.
Hot
Yeah,
dog
it needs to be
flavors.
blended better, but
Yeah.
the flavor, I like.
The flavor is good, and it's confusing my brain. But my brain doesn't know what it's eating. Are you eating a hamburger? Are you eating a hot dog?
Ah,
It's a little bit of both.
it almost makes the whole burger taste hot doggy,
Yes.
right? More.
I would eat it again.
I would totally make that right the next time and eat it again. So there you go. That's the second of 2 experiments. I think that was successful. So who's going to eat the last piece?
All right, so that was our 4 burgers. How do you think it turned out?
I thought it turned out really good. I mean, that burger that you made with the butter on it, honestly, I can't help but think about when will I be able to afford my body that many calories so I can eat it again?
I think I thoroughly enjoyed this burger challenge. I think all 4 of the burgers were things that everyone said they enjoyed. I'm going to dream about a couple of them, I think, in the future. And this is something that I would keep trying with those experimental burgers, and I would make any of those any day for lunch or dinner.
You know, if you like this, consider subscribing to the channel. Click the little bell icon next to it so you get notified when our new videos come out. Also, give it a like if you liked it. More importantly, it's about the comments.
That's right. We'd love to see your comments. And remember what we always say.